Hey everyone, and welcome back. I decided to do a little series of short videos here in the mixing chapter where I will explain all the fundamentals of the techniques we've been going through in these lessons. And there's already like a mixing series where you can watch me mix my entire track from beginning to end, but those are a little bit lengthy because I literally show you the entire process for me where I go through all the stages of the mixing until I export it in the end. So for these videos, I want to keep it short and sweet and straight to the point, just to quickly demonstrate the different things we're looking at in this chapter. So for this purpose, I've been creating this short little cue, and we only have 21 tracks to work with because I want this to be pretty easy to understand, not too many tracks and distractions, but we still have strings, brass, choirs, percussion, and a couple of sound design things here, so I can properly demonstrate how to mix this kind of music. So for this video, we're going to start looking at the volume balance, the leveling, which is the first part of the mixing process. And again, I can't stress this enough. This is one of the most crucial parts of the mixing stage. So make sure that you get this right and that you spend enough time on this part of the mixing, because good mixes do not come from like expensive plugins and fancy equalizers and all these kind of expensive plugins. It is the basics that matters the most. So if you're able to really do a good job on the volume balance and just some basic EQ and compression, your mixes will sound really good. So to begin, we're just gonna take all these stems that I've been exporting. There's a video on how to do that. I'm just gonna drag them into an empty Cubase project here, put them into different tracks. And I also have like a little reference mix here, which is Tom Player's Desolation, published by Position Music, which is a fantastic track. So that's going to be my reference for this track. So the first step here is now just going to be to organize everything. So I'm going to make sure that everything is organized properly. So here we have the violin spiccato. We have the mid. I'm just gonna fast forward through this because I want to keep these videos fairly short. So I'm just gonna rename and color code this as you have seen me do before. Alright, so I've been naming all these a bit better so it's easier for me to navigate, and the next step is just going to be color coding these again. So I'm making the strings red, brass like orange, and so on. Okay, so now I have everything organized nicely with colors and proper names, like red for the strings, yellowish for the brass, and so on. So we don't have too many tracks to work with here, so it's going to be easier for you to really understand exactly what I'm doing. But at the same time, we have all the different instruments group here, so you get the idea of how it is to work with all these different elements. Now, what I like to do at this point is to create group tracks, one for each group of instruments. So this one is going to be strings. It's going to end up down here, and duplicate this one, call it brass. It's going to duplicate all these ones as well. We have percussion, we have choirs, and then I guess we have the let me see, and add a couple more here. Group channel. I have one. I usually do one for master, and then one for like sound effects. I think that's everything we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring these ones to the top, and also I'm gonna like color code these ones the same as the instruments, so it's easier to navigate. And a master, I'll make it like light blue or something, put it up here. So now the next step is to route everything correctly. So I'm gonna go to the mixer window, I'm gonna take all the strings, routing, and I'm gonna hold Alt and Shift and click on this. You see it says link here. That means all these tracks are linked. So if I click on stereo out and switch it to strings, all of these are switching to strings. I'm gonna do the same for everyone here. I'm gonna make it go to brass. I'm gonna make these ones go to the choirs. I'm gonna make these ones go to percussion, and the final one is here to sound effects. And now all these ones are gonna go to the master, and the master is going to stereo out. And this one is also going to stereo out. So if I want to do any changes to the master bus, it won't affect the reference mix, which is really important. Now, when that is done, we're pretty much good to go. So what I like to do is to start by taking down all the volumes to 0 so we can start completely from scratch. But before we do that, I just want to show you what this little cue sounds like. It's really short, but we have everything we need here to start working with a full mix.